Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Friday Phil. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know what we're here for. The good shit. Oh, that good shit. Man, I had a great sandwich. Got home early. Might have to change a battery in my car tomorrow. I don't know. I'll worry about that tomorrow. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's get to it. Anything happened today? Anything new? Anything I should know about? Anything new? Anyone out there? Who came an hour early? I want to know. Like, who the fuck's out there? We got Dalton Bell. Hey, Phil. Happy Friday. How's it going? Yo. Braden in the house. What's going on, Braden? Lance with his wetness. Yo. How's it going? Also, Warner Brother just lost the rights to Akira. Okay. Sucks for them. Maybe Taika Waititi won't do it now. Hopefully. Oh, Jose, what's going on? The amount of hate for Ironheart just shows that people really don't want to admit that they are racist. Yes. Because when you tell me, or when I see a video that says something to the effect of, Ironheart is woke, that's basically you saying, I'm a bigot. That's pretty much what that amounts to. That is ultimately what that will amount to, in my humble opinion. Thank you, Jose. I know. Dope shirt. Got it off the DC shop. $25. Because I love Batman Forever, which just had a fucking anniversary like 12 days ago. Something like that. Fuck, I don't know. Some shit like that. Something like that. But speaking of Batman, guys, there's some little bit of Batman. There's actually a lot of Batman news we're going to talk about today. But this was posted literally 3 hours ago by one Mr. Matt Reeves. That's right, folks. Ready for this? Check this shit out. Hold on. Close that down. Share screen. Would you look at that? Motherfucking script for the Batman Part 2. The Batman Part 2. Script on the table. You can kind of make out written by Matt Reeves and Mattson Tomlin. Now, that's a dope picture. It's a great picture, honestly. Love it. Love it to death. Love me some Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves is the man. Same with Mattson Tomlin. That dude wrote an excellent Terminator series on Netflix, Terminator Zero. By all means, go check that out. But the question I have is, Matt, how long has that script been sitting on your desk like that, waiting for you to take a picture? Pretty convenient that Matt Reeves would happen to turn in his script very close to when Superman is releasing. Coincidence? Maybe. Believe me, there are a few people who I've told what I heard, and they were like, nah. The timing of this? Pretty convenient. Pretty convenient that Matt Reeves would happen to finish and turn in his script not even 2 weeks before Superman plays. I wonder if James Gunn might have been waiting for Superman to release or get close to release or, be out in the world before moving forward with the Batman Part 2. I wonder. Or do I wonder, or am I being sneaky? I'll leave it up to you guys to figure that one out. Dalton says, the bell's been rung. When that light hits the sky, it's not just a call, it's a warning. That's right. The Batman is coming back. Regardless of whatever shenanigans took place behind the scenes to finally get this goddamn script out, happy it's done. Even though it may have been done for a while. Just happy to know that Matt Reeves is moving full steam ahead on this motherfucker. That's great. Even IMAX is even in the comments section saying it's happening. Well, yes, let's hope it happens. Let's hope that, you know, Jimmy Guns doesn't give him any notes. And why would he? Why would James Gunn give Matt Reeves notes on a script to a sequel to a movie he didn't even bother reading from the start even before he was head of DC? So I think it would just be in James Gunn's best interest to just, I don't know, be like, okay, your script's done. Go make your movie. It's that simple. But that's just my opinion. Need to preface that every single time. Because apparently, some people are under the impression that I hate James Gunn. No, I don't hate the man. I hardly know the guy. Matter of fact, I don't know the guy personally at all. I'm just not a fan of certain creative choices he's made. It's that simple. But apparently, you tell someone, I don't know how I feel about Superman. They immediately look at you. They look at the fucking shirt you're wearing and they go, you cultist. You hate James Gunn. No, I don't hate the guy. Don't even know the guy. Would I have coffee with him? Probably not. Would I say hi to him if I walk by him on the street? Maybe. But am I like his biggest fan? No. Am I his biggest cheerleader? No. Am I holding his feet to the fire for being the new head of DC Studios? Also, no. But we'll get to James Gunn. There's, if you guys saw the thumbnail, that shit's gonna fucking, that if you saw the thumbnail, we'll be getting into some stuff James Gunn said. So we'll get into that. But apparently, Taika Waititi's live-action Akira film is no longer happening, and Warner Brothers has lost the rights. Oh, you just had to give me that. Oh. This is fucking awesome. Great. Taika Waititi had fucking no business at all making that fucking movie. Because good God, he is not a great filmmaker. Man, oh man, like, good. Maybe someone else can actually take a crack at it and make it worth a damn. Because I tell you, him on that was a fucking bad idea. And I mean bad. That was a bad idea, putting Taika Waititi as a fucking director on Akira, of all things. Oh my God. Thank fuck that's not happening anymore. Anyway. I don't even have any fucking banners set up. I got nothing, everyone. Why did I get rid of that one? God damn it. There we go. Okay, staying in the realm of Batman, let's just go ahead and talk about some older news, because I was not here last week. I had a family emergency I had to deal with. Then I had some other personal business to take care of. But we are back this week, and it is going to be the other reason I started an hour early is because, well, maybe for you guys, I figured, what the hell? Maybe I'll go longer than an hour. So, there's that. Anyway, staying in the realm of Batman and DC, apparently Clayface got cast. Check this shit out, guys. Mr. 1, DC Studios, horror movie Clayface to star 1, Tom Rhys-Harris. The film hails from Speak No Evil filmmaker James Watkins. DC Studios has found the actor to help mold its Clayface movie. Okay, who the fuck wrote this? Aaron Couch, Boris Kidd. Okay, whoever the fuck wrote that knew exactly what they were getting at when they said mold its Clayface movie. I see what you did there. Very clever. Tom Rhys-Harris, a Welsh actor who is relatively unknown stateside, will star as the Batman villain known for his ability to shapeshift. The casting ends a search that focused on young British actors for the project. Among those in the mix had been Sinner's bad guy Jack O'Connell, Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes Tom Blythe, and George McKay, who was in 1917. Sources said DC toppers James Gunn and Peter Safran weren't ready to pull the trigger on those they met with and went deeper into the well. Speak No Evil director James Watkins will direct Clayface, which is said to be a stripped-down movie with a budget in the $40 million range. According to sources, it centers on B-movie actor who becomes a walking piece of clay after injecting himself with the substance in an attempt to keep himself relevant. Prolific horror filmmaker Mike Flanagan wrote the script for Clayface, which has a release date of September 11th, my late grandfather's birthday, 2026, and is expected to film later this year. The Batman director, Matt Reeves, will produce along Lynn Harris, Gunn, and Safran. This is a massive break for the 35-year-old actor who has been notching screen credits with work on screen and stage in the UK since around 20 years old. Among his early gigs was a role on BBC fantasy drama Jekyll and Hyde, making his West End debut in Mojo with Ben Whishaw and Rupert Grint. Oh, Ron Weasley. How lovely. In recent years, he appeared in the short-lived Apple TV series Suspicion and the short-lived Netflix series White Lines. He also had a role in the 2023 Gerard Butler action drama Kandahar. And that's that. Okay, well, there he is, guys. Our new Clayface. Body horror film directed by one James Watkins, who did Speak No Evil, from a fucking script by the one and only fantastic Mike Flanagan. Man, wow. And apparently, according to Mike Flanagan, this script was, of course, based off of the infamous two-parter Feet of Clay. Now, anyone who knows that epic episode of Batman, that epic two-parter from Batman the Animated Series, knows that centers around washed-up actor Matt Hagen, who becomes the infamous Batman villain Clayface, voiced by the one and only Ron Perlman. I mean, how do I feel about this? Thumbs up. If DC Studios wants to survive, they cannot survive on big budget blockbusters alone. That's ultimately what kind of killed the DC Extended Universe. They wanted to do smaller movies with bigger characters, with slightly big budgets, but not super big budgets. So I think doing something like this, having a more character-focused short film, or not short film, but a smaller film, if you will, rooted in one character in particular, one who, if you're following the horror genre, you've seen the likes of The Substance, you've seen The Fly. This feels very much in that vein. It's just going to have a DC Studios banner on it, and we're going to get a fucking Batman villain. I mean, the Joker movie kind of set this precedent to be like, yeah, we can kind of do things like this, but I think James Gunn and company are kind of taking it a bit of a more, what's the word here, universal approach, in that, oh, we want these characters to actually be people in our fucking universe. Okay, I can understand that logic. And if Mike Flanagan was compelled to write a script about Clayface from the Feet of Clay two-parter, fuck it. Let it happen. What's the worst that could happen? Nobody shows up and sees the fucking movie and it bombs and falls flat on its face? Listen, making money back on a $40 million movie, that's not hard. I mean, maybe in today's climate, but the fact that this is a Batman villain getting his own movie, I feel like the Batman crowd, at the very least, they're going to show up for this. Like, I would hope. That's my hope. But I don't know. That movie's a fucking year away from releasing, according to what, according to the release date. So, let's see. Josie says, Clayface body horror, say less. I wonder if James Gunn can change the Clayface movie date to a Halloween date. See, I don't think you need to do that, because by the time Halloween rolls around, if this movie's still in theaters, which I imagine it probably will be, you don't really need to move it. It might just get a bit of a boon during the holidays, the Halloween season. I almost said holiday season, but same fucking thing. Halloween's a holiday. But yeah. Shout out to Ron Perlman. Great voice roles over the years. 1000%. I agree completely. Ron Perlman was Clayface in BTAS. How did I miss that? I wonder if Batman will appear in Clayface. No. The reason I say that is James Gunn did say that the first appearance of Batman in live action will be Batman Brave and the Bold. Which I can understand. And it also kind of puts the kibosh on this whole, oh, James Gunn's doing a fucking world's finest movie with Batman and Superman. Yeah. No, he's not. I doubt he's doing that. I highly doubt he is doing a world's finest movie. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll say it right now. I think he's working on a Legion of Superheroes movie with Superman going into the future. That's what I think he's working on. Could be wrong about that too, but fuck, I don't know. I just don't think it would be in his best interest to do a world's finest team up movie because, well, the parallels are obvious. And I will leave it at that. Anyway, let's pivot to box office really quick so I can talk about that. Oh, wait, real quick. Braden brought something up. Let's see. Also, the rat can kiss his own ass because he said on a quote that Clayface did not have a finished script and that was some bullshit. Yes, 1000%. I did see someone share his ignorant responses in regards to that. Mr. Jeff Snyder thinks he's got the skinny on anything DC. And, well, this is the same guy who said the Titans casting was happening in the fall. Guess what, guys? That turned out to be bullshit, too. Just saying. And even all the people that came in my fucking mentions who were like, oh, but Philip, it could totally fucking happen. They could get a director. The script might be done. You never know. You don't know. Oh, no. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? Some of you owe me a fucking apology. So, that's specifically, I think, is it Lee Pace Batman? Yeah, he might have been the one to tell me that. I don't know. It was some Batman account on fucking Threads was like, well, you don't know. They could get a director and they could start shooting. They could start shooting at the end of the year. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They haven't even formally announced that fucking movie to begin with. Let's not forget about him making fun of Mr. Big Hands for no reason. See, at least when I do it, it's funny. You know, because I started the whole Mr. Big Hands thing. That's my patent. I fucking take ownership of that. I've heard fans say maybe a Terrifics movie. I would buy that, but the thing is like, he specifically said, like, it's a Superman story. It's Superman will be in it, but it's not a traditional sequel. And there are only like a handful of things that could possibly be. I could see. Okay, you know what? Before we get into box office, I didn't really want to do this, but I guess we'll do it. Let's go ahead and talk about James Gunn because, well, there's a lot of shit that came out in a Rolling Stone article. If I could bring up the Rolling Stone article, I would, but I can't because Rolling Stone puts it behind a fucking paywall, and I'm not going to pay Rolling Stone for one fucking article that I want to reference. So, thankfully, and unfortunately, but thankfully, Variety has everything that I want to talk about when it comes to this Rolling Stone tell-all where James Gunn got a little candid and personal about his life, his filmmaking career, and where he is currently at as the head of DC Studios. So, I really didn't want to talk about this now, but I guess I'm just going with the flow on it. All right, here we go. James Gunn says the movie industry is dying because films are made without finished scripts and Marvel got killed by output increase. Quote, that wasn't fair. James Gunn has stressed from the minute he took over DC Studios that no superhero movie under his watch would go into production without a completed script. Now, in a new interview with Rolling Stone, the filmmaker attributed the so-called dying film industry to Hollywood's fatal mistake of always making blockbusters before their scripts are officially completed. I do believe that the reason why the movie industry is dying is not because of people not wanting to see movies. It's because of home screens. It's not because of home screens getting so good. The number one reason is because people are making movies without a finished screenplay. Okay, so to touch on that, I think he's right, but I also think he's wrong. And that I don't disagree that, yes, I think Hollywood going to make movies without finished scripts, that's a problem. However, I would also posit that theater prices, ticket prices are going up. They have gone up tremendously in the last 10 years. COVID accelerated everything. And by everything, I mean home viewing experiences. That really rushed things for people. On top of inflation, just inflation in general for our economy, specifically in the United States. But inflation has a small part to play too. People got so comfortable during COVID of being like, oh, you know, I can just watch at home. I can do it at home. I can work from home. I can do whatever I want from home. That includes watching a movie. That includes them saying, I'll wait. And that goes for any movie. This has affected Marvel. This has affected Universal. This has affected everybody, not just DC, not just Lucasfilm, not just Marvel Studios. This affects everybody. But I can see where he's coming from, but I think he's really trying to just hone in on, no, Hollywood's failing because movies are being made without finished scripts. I see your point. I don't completely agree with it, though. Because again, theater prices are also going up, and so are prices of concessions. And now you want people to buy fucking popcorn buckets too? I mean, I get the novelty, but again, the thing to take into consideration is the only people buying popcorn buckets are people like me, probably people in the chat, collectors at best, fucking Joe Average, Mommy Kelly, Little Susie, and Little Dicky. No, they don't want a fucking popcorn bucket. They probably want, I don't know, soft drinks, popcorn, pizza, hot dogs, nachos. I don't fucking know, but they probably want food. They don't want a fucking popcorn bucket unless Little Dicky's like, Daddy, look, I want the Superman popcorn bucket. And then Joe Average goes, fuck, son. All right. Then he looks at his bank account and goes, okay, son. Swipe. But then you've also got people like me who look at the fucking popcorn buckets and go, wouldn't get that one, wouldn't get that one, wouldn't get that one. I would get that one. And when I say I would get that one, I would probably get the Fantastic Four one at the Regal. No, not Regal. No, Regal. Regal was the one I wanted. I almost said Century, but it's Regal. Regal has the one with the 4 layers that each embody each member of the Fantastic Four. Anyway. Going back to this. Gunn noted that DC recently killed a project because the script just couldn't get to the right place, explaining everybody wanted to make the movie. It was greenlit, ready to go. The screenplay wasn't ready, and I couldn't do a movie where the screenplay is not good. And we've been really lucky so far because Supergirl's script was so fucking good off the bat. And then Lanterns came in, and the script was so fucking good. Clayface, same thing. So fucking good. So we have these scripts that we've been really lucky with, or wise in our choices in whatever the combination is. Another thing Gunn said that is working in his favor is that there is no corporate mandate from Warner Brothers to churn out a certain number of film and television projects at DC Studios. Gunn is an alum of Marvel Studios, having directed 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies as well as a Christmas special. He noted that Disney's mandate to increase Marvel's output amid the launch of Disney Plus had a negative impact on the larger universe. Disney CEO Bob Iger has openly admitted to making this mistake, except it wasn't Bob Iger's fault, it was Bob Chapek's fault. Quote, that wasn't fair, it wasn't right, and it killed them, Gunn said of Marvel. We don't have the mandate at DC to have a certain amount of movies and TV shows every year, so we're going to put out everything that we think is of the highest quality. We're obviously going to do some good things and some not good things, but hopefully on average, everything will be as high quality as possible. Nothing goes before there's a screenplay that I personally am happy with. All right, well, that is understandable. That is honestly probably some of the smartest thinking you could have from any kind of co-CEO of a studio. We're not doing a fucking movie until that damn screenplay is good and go. And if I give the okay. Now, depending on how you feel about James Gunn as a decision maker, as a creative individual, your mileage may vary on where he may fall and what is good and what is not good because of what he makes personally or what he finds to be good. I will just say that on the pure notion of not making a movie without having a finished script, that's smart. That is something that has kind of been a detriment to Marvel Studios for a while. But that's, well, yeah. Why buy a popcorn bucket if it has no open mouth? Those are the best. Ah, see? The Wolverine popcorn bucket was something I wanted and did not get, unfortunately. Yeah, it's theater prices, COVID, and some movies not being as good, and inflation. Amen to that, Braden. I agree completely. Going to the movies used to be for everybody. Blue collar, white collar. Now tickets are pretty pricey, especially if you have a family. Yes, exactly. Because just for a family of 4 in my area, when tickets cost close to, depending on what seat and what time, average night, not even matinee night, average night for going to a movie in my area, I think it's, if you buy your ticket through Fandango, it's like $18. That's with the courtesy fee. So take that into consideration. You have 2 adult tickets. There's $36 right there for 2 tickets. Then you have a child ticket. You have 2 child tickets at best, at most. Average family of 4. You have 2 adult tickets. That's about $36. Then you have, I'll look it up right now. Let's just do some fucking quick movie math. No, I'm not copying Grace Randolph because fuck that. But math is math, and we're talking about movies, so technically it's movie math. Anyway, where the fuck is the Fandango app? Here we go. What is the average ticket price for a child? I need to know this. Okay, let's see. So for Jurassic World, I'm just using Jurassic World Rebirth as a point of demarcation and an example. So Friday, July 4th. Let's just take a look, right? How much is a ticket for a child? Shoot for $3.50 in the afternoon. Oh, those are taken. Let's see. 2, 3, and 4. Next. Oh, my stupid ass chose 3D. Anyway, so for a 3D general admission, single price for 1 ticket for an adult, $21.69. Single price for a child is $17.19. So you're literally looking at about 20, 40, about $80. Family of 4 to see Jurassic World Rebirth in 3D. And that's just 3D. If you want to do regular, it's about $2 or $3 less than that. Yes, Lance is a prime example. Lance is perfect. Family man, 4 daughters, wife, him, 6 people. I'm right, Lance. Tell me I'm right. Please tell me I got it right. You have 4 kids, right? I'm correct in that number. Please let me know if I'm right or not. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. I think I'm right, but I just want to be absolutely fucking sure. But yes, Lance is a perfect example. So if Lance were to pay fucking my ticket prices where I live in California, he would be paying, it's $40 for him and his wife alone, and then you tack on another 20, 40, 60, 80. That's $120 just in ticket prices. Yeah, movie theaters getting all Lance's money. Fuck yeah, but guess what? That means Lance and his family can only go see maybe 1, maybe 2 movies a month. Maybe. And that's not even including concessions. Fuck, I used to go to the movies all the time. But now, shit's hard, bro. Like, money's tight. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Like, I've been saving money for emergencies and stuff. Like, tomorrow, I got to go fucking take care of probably a car battery. But even still, like, when I get paid next week, yeah, I'm going to buy a single ticket to Jurassic World Rebirth. That's going to cost like $20. And it's like, okay, cool. I don't really have much to worry about. I'm not married. I don't have 2 kids. Yeah, I can go to the movie and have a fucking swanky time. I can blow fucking $20 on popcorn and a fucking icy and maybe a hot dog because I'm a fucking fat ass. Okay, I'm not really a fat ass, but I get hungry when I watch a movie. But you guys see my fucking point. Like, yes, I think not having a finished script is part of the problem. It is not the entire problem. I think there are a lot of other things that he's kind of ignoring. And it's like, I get it. But at the same time, like, think about where you are positionally and then think about the average Joe. Like, come on, dude. Like, fucking think, James. Fucking think about it, James. Anyway. Vengeance. Thanks for tuning in through Twitch. Appreciate it. Bro, Fantastic Four is going to fucking bust your wallet wide open. Just saying. It's clobbering time for Lance's wallet. Okay. All right. So, moving on with the Gunn shit from the Rolling Stone article, because I couldn't get it from Rolling Stone, so we were using Variety. Anyway, with Gunn's Superman arriving in theaters next month, but well, by this point, a couple weeks from now, his DC universe is about to launch. Only one other movie in the new franchise has completed filming, and that would be 2026's Supergirl. The plan is to build out the universe on the big screen with movies about Batman, Brave and the Bold, as well as Wonder Woman. Here's another fun one from James Gunn. Quote, Batman's my biggest issue in all of DC right now, personally. And I'm not writing Batman, but I'm working with the writer of Batman to try and get it right, because he's incredibly important to DC, as is Wonder Woman. So outside of that, I'm doing in the projects that are actively going. Our two priorities are finishing our Wonder Woman and Batman scripts. What? Batman? A priority at DC? Color me fucking surprised. This is my surprise face. This is my other surprise face. Look, I get it. We're in the summer of Superman. All gravy. Movie's going to come out, do its thing. But let's be honest. Fucking Batman pays the bills. Batman keeps the lights on. Batman is the reason there's a fucking DC Studios to begin with. Batman is the reason why Warner Brothers has such a fucking cash cow for DC properties. Because Batman pays the fucking bills, everybody. That's right. If not for Batman, there really isn't much of any DC. Okay, that's kind of downplaying a little bit. Obviously, there is much more to DC than just Batman. But Batman is the most popular character in all of fiction. So, there is that. Anyway, he says some other shit about Batman down here, too. So, here's a funny one that I thought was really funny. And I'm not going to pull it up, but I'm just going to read it. Batman has to have a reason for existing, right? So Batman just can't be, oh, we're making a Batman movie because Batman's the biggest character in all of Warner Brothers, which he is. But because there's a need for him in the DCU and a need that he's not exactly the same as Matt Reeves' Batman, but yeah, he's not a campy Batman. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in a funny campy Batman. Really? So we're dealing with that. I think I have a way in, by the way. I think I really know what it's. I'm just dealing with the writer to make sure that we can make it a reality. Gunn said developing Wonder Woman movie is actually easier for me because there haven't been so many infinite portrayals of Wonder Woman. Definitely not in the movies, but really anywhere than there have been for Batman. Now here's the one where I kind of went, what? Quote, every single Batman story has been told, Gunn concluded. It seems like half the comics that have come out of DC over the past 30 years have Batman in them. He's the most famous superhero in the world and the most popular superhero in the world. And people love him because he's interesting. But also having so much of him out there can make him boring. So how do you create a property that's fun to watch? I'm just like, let me get this straight. You say every Batman story's been told. However, we've only seen, the origin in Batman Begins. We got Batman and Superman fighting for the big screen. We got Batman with the Justice League. We got, Batman being a detective with Jim Gordon. We got Batman and Robin with Batman Forever. Hello. Your movie is Batman and his son, Damian Wayne. To my knowledge, that has not been done in film before. So...
You dumb fuck.
That was kind of a fucking like foot and mouth moment. Don't really know what he meant by that. But that was just kind of like, Really, dude? Really? You think? Really? Every Batman story's been told? Because last I checked, there isn't a Batman in the Outsiders movie in animation or live action. Last I checked, Batman Year 2 hasn't been the basis for fucking anything. Last I checked, we haven't seen, I don't know, the Court of Owls in a live action Batman movie. I'm just saying, not every Batman story's been told in live action. Now, was he clarified? Could he have clarified and said animated too? Maybe. Did he? No. I don't know. I just thought it was incredibly kind of asinine to be like, oh yeah, every Batman story's been told. It's like, what? The fuck do you mean? And I've seen people, or rather I've heard people, try to justify this and be like, well, you know, I think he just means that like all the big stories keep getting pulled from, like Long Halloween and Dark Knight Returns and Nightfall. I'm like, can you maybe get your lips off James Gunn's shaft for like 10 seconds, breathe a little bit, and actually fucking think? That'd be great. But I digress. I'm not going to say no to more Batman stuff. I'm not going to say fucking no to Superman having the spotlight. I'm just stating facts. Like, Batman keeps the fucking lights on. It's a bit of a crying shame that Matt Reeves had to wait this long to get his fucking script done. Or rather, wait this long to show that his script is done, I should say. Anyway, what are y'all chatting about? Let me see. So they're focusing on the Trinity. Glad at least Gunn has a vision for DC, unlike Warner Brother what was doing, which was tossing things at the wall to see what stuck, only for the wall to fall over, as well as screwing over Zack Snyder. Correct. Warner Brothers totally fucked Zack Snyder, and that was not okay. Not every single Batman story has been told. That's where I disagree with James Gunn. When you're doing a movie about Damian Wayne, like, I don't get how he can say every Batman story has been told. Exactly. My point, exactly. When he's doing a movie about Batman having a son named Damian Wayne. Correctamundo. Animated movies too. Yeah, I wonder if he meant animated movies, but he didn't clarify. So it's just, it's just one of those things where it could be taken out of context. Not really sure. We haven't seen Jason Thomas's. I think you mean Jason Todd. The Dark Knight Returns or Killing Joke. Yeah. Every Batman story has been told. I don't remember if a film about Hush, The Court of Owls, Damian hasn't even gotten a live action appearance yet. I remember the first time I watched Under the Red Hood. I was stunned. That is arguably one of the best DC animated movies ever fucking made. Period, bar none, end of conversation. It is one of the best adaptations they have ever done. It's probably because Jude Winnick came back and wrote the script for that too, and he wrote the original book. Jason Todd's death has not been told yet. Dark Knight Returns has not been told yet. Killing Joke has not been told yet. Correct, and half correct because they use some of Killing Joke for the basis of Batman 1989. There's a bunch of Batman stories that have not been told yet. Correct. Oh, look, my mod's here. What's up, Jeffrey? I hope everyone not wrong. Batman is the GOAT. Batman is the GOAT. That's for damn sure. Red Hood happened in live action on Titans.
I'm like, that's cool, but you're living in a fucking dream world, okay? So,
Lance, I love you, buddy. But when I say live action, and I say live action films, that's what I mean. Live action films. You want to know why nobody talks about Hush and Batwoman? You want to know why nobody talks about the Red Hood from Titans? Lean in, Lance. Lean in. Come closer. Come closer, buddy. I love you, but nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck about Titans or Batwoman. And I hate saying it, bud. But it's true. Ain't nobody giving a fuck about those shows. Nobody got time for that shit. But love you, Lance. I hate watch Titans. Oh, God. Oh, Hosey XCI, you crack me up, my friend. You crack me up because I didn't hate watch it. I bowed out after season 3. I was like, this is fucking horrendous. That third season was rough. Oh my God. That was a show that was made. Fun fact. The friend who told me certain things about DC Studios a couple weeks ago is the same friend who told me that a month before Titans season 3 premiered on HBO Max, I sat on this news for a month, kept it quiet to myself. He informed me that Hawk was going to die in the opening episodes, one of them, of Titans season 3. He said they kill off Hawk in the fucking beginning of season 3. I said, oh, that's going to piss in people's Cheerios. Episode 3, season 3. What happens? Well, Jason Todd gets a fucking stick up his ass and he kills Hawk. So, when that happened, I was like, I saw so many, this was back when I was on Twitter. Not anymore, because fuck that place, but saw so many people, how could they kill Alan Richardson's Hawk? How? Oh my God! How? And I'm like, I knew about this for a month. And was met with all manner of, no, you fucking didn't. No, you fucking didn't. No, you fucking didn't. I'm just like, okay. Don't believe me. I don't care. And here's the difference between me and other people in that game. I'm not even trying to be in that game. And that's the difference. When I hear stuff, I'll let friends know what I heard. Saying it out loud online for people to clip and fucking share with whoever. No, not my style. But if you really want to know, you can fucking DM me. You know, you can fucking... Why is my layout not changing? What the fuck? What the fuck? There we go. Yeah. You can DM me on any one of these fucking platforms. Well, okay. Thread, you can't DM me. But Vero, Instagram, and Blue Sky, you can DM me. And I will happily share with you what was confided into me a mere couple weeks ago. Around the end of May, beginning of June. Something like that. I told Lance. I told a couple other people. And, well, like I said, if you want to know, feel free to fucking DM me and I'll let you know what I heard. But I'm not going to say what I heard live. I don't need that. I don't need to do that. Because I'm not trying to be in that game. I'm not trying to be one of those fucking people who just lie out of the fucking ass for clicks and bait. Fuck that shit. Fuck all that. But anyway, what are you guys talking about? Outsiders happen on Black Lightning, technically. Lance, I said Batman and the Outsiders. Not Black Lightning and the Outsiders. Batman and the Outsiders. Think! Love you. Titans was a show. Fuck Batman is still burned into my memory. Fuck Batman. Yeah, I think we all remember that. Because they were shit Red Hood. And Titans is awful. And Hush and Batwoman was terrible. Oh man, Lance is about to have a fucking heart attack right now reading all this shit. I don't know if this is true or not. The Titan show had continued. We would have a Red Hood show. Ugh, no thank you. Titans season 1 is a good season. Season 2 is not so good, but Deathstroke was amazing. Season 3 was somehow worse than season 2. Season 4 is an okay season. I think season 2 is probably as good as that show got. I would also say that bar is not high. That's my opinion. What's your favorite live-action Batman movie? Mine is Batman Begins. Let's see. Well, that is a great question because I have a favorite solo live-action Batman movie, and then I have a favorite Batman movie. in live action, right? So that it's kind of cheating because I don't really feel like any one of them are like definitive or whatever. Like I don't really like to do that whole tribalistic stuff, but I would say that my favorite live action solo Batman movie is probably The Batman. My favorite live action Batman film, probably Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, obviously, even though I always just shorten it to BVS. That's kind of my thought process on it. Because I think The Batman captures the spirit of who Batman is really well. It also captures the world of Gotham really well. And I think it had a really fine-tuned story to it. It was like not necessarily a whodunit, but it was definitely like a Batman needs to catch the killer, and he's even still like a learning detective. It is the most Long Halloween of any Batman movie that has pulled from the Long Halloween, and that list isn't fucking very big. I'll tell you that right now. But when it comes to like live action Batman in general, like I gotta give it to Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder with Batman v Superman. Like that movie to me is like visually, like Ben Affleck looks just like Batman stepped off the fucking page or out of the fucking cartoon. Like, and I mean Batman the Animated Series. Like Ben Affleck looks and he moved just like I always thought Batman would, in live action. And, the narrative that they had for that movie where, he's at the end of his rope. Robin is dead. Joker murdered Robin. Superman has now made his presence known. And Bruce Wayne, being a seasoned crime fighter, is looking at all of this and being like, well, fuck. Everything I've done is just fucking for show. Fuck it. Superman's going to save the fucking day now, right? Until he decides to turn into a villain. I just really like the way that movie handled a character that has seen over 80 years of interpretations. Because there's actual progression and growth by the end of the movie. Because he goes from being the stone cold, almost like non-humanitarian to, putting on Bruce Wayne as the facade, which he does very normally and very obviously, to going back to being that guy, that hero, because of Superman's sacrifice and everything that transpires with Superman in that movie. Superman's the reason Batman goes back to being a legitimate fucking hero instead of a murderous vigilante, which murder's probably not the right word, but he's full on Dark Knight Returns. He don't give a fuck. If you're going to shoot a Gatling gun at Batman, he's going to fucking blow your car up and not give a shit. If you're going to, it's just like in the Dark Knight Returns. If you're going to fucking hold a baby at gunpoint, Batman's going to blow your fucking brains out. Batman's held a gun before. And I'm not mad when I see that happen. And I'm also of the mind of like, yeah, Batman probably shouldn't kill. It's part of his code. He has a code in his formidable years. But I think at some point, that code begins to become questionable. And I think Zack Snyder handled it very, very, very gracefully, Holy shit, I am missing out on the chat because I'm just rambling. Oh, Under the Red Hood is my third favorite cartoon movie besides Batman Beyond Return of the Joker and Batman Mask of the Phantasm being number one. I understand that completely. Sentiments echoed. Hush was ass. Yes. Javicia made the show better with her fine ass. Lance, buddy, I love you. Doom Patrol was better. I agree. Doom Patrol was an infinitely better made show. Didn't watch all of Titans, but I saw season 1, season 2, or anything beyond. Interesting. My favorite live action Batman movie is The Batman. There you go. Red Death and The Flash was rough and not the good kind of rough. I agree. We were including animation. I would say that Under the Red Hood is my favorite Batman movie ever. Okay, I can understand that. The Batman was the best live action BTAS episode ever, in my opinion. I can understand that. The Batman is great. I definitely agree with you. What about Adam West? See, I'm glad you brought that up. Because The Batman is basically a 2021 version of the 1966 movie. Think about it. You have Riddler, you have Catwoman, you have Penguin, you have the Joker, you have Batman. And he tries to stop a bomb before it blows up in water, causing water to go everywhere. Anyway, Batman should bust caps in everybody's ass. I mean, he lit a temple of people on fire in Batman Begins. Just saying. Just saying, man. Just saying. People will act like Batman vs. Superman is the first time Batman has ever held a gun. When he held a gun in his first appearance, correct me if I'm wrong, he killed in his first appearance. Batman killed famously in a lot of his first comics. Way back in the day. He's definitely done some killable things to people. Matter of fact, there's one comic, I don't remember which one it is specifically, but Batman literally hangs a guy from the bat plane. Like, he's got a guy hung, like noose and all, like hanging as he's flying the fucking bat wing. And Batman's like, that'll get that son of a bitch. And yet you've got people all up in their feelings like, Batman committed capital murder. He blew up a car full of people. It's like, yeah. The thing is, it was like 2 guys. And the guy was shooting a fucking Gatling gun at Batman. What are you gonna do? Like, have him honk? Have him fucking, I don't know, slick the oil? Wait, he's behind them. How can he do that? Like, I when people come up with the dumbest shit to try and be like, well, Batman's a murderer in Batman v Superman, I'm like, what? No, he's not. Like, you people are fucking dumb. Like, self-defense is a thing. Like, try it sometime. Maybe get off your fucking keyboard, touch some grass, have someone shove into you on the sidewalk, maybe stand up for yourself a little bit. Might help. Might maybe give you some courage and some real world perspective. Just saying. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb, Robin. That's right, Dalton. Not a fan of BVS, but you make great points. The Batman mech suit is dope as fuck. I mean, listen, if you have problems, and I'm not saying you, Jose, but people often have problems with the narrative of Batman v Superman. It's like, I get it, sure. You know, that ultimately just kind of boils down to, well, the movie didn't do what I thought it was going to do or what I wanted it to do. And like, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. You wanted a different kind of world's finest movie. I get it. Definitely. But like, visually, like, sorry, but even the Russo brothers have even been like, dude, nobody's making movies like you. Like, you are the most top-notch visual filmmaker in the industry today. Like, I'm sorry, but you know, you want to compare apples to oranges and you want to, like, you know, compare Superman. I got to be brutally honest. Like, some of the flying shots in the new movie don't hold a candle to what Zack Snyder did in Man of Steel. That's just me. But, you know, people forget there wasn't a no-kill rule in his first appearances. He would straight up kill people and use guns. That's right. That is true. He would. And it's funny. I've started liking the idea of Batman starting out killing people, but slowly learning to pull back a bit due to him slowly losing his humanity. And I think that's not quite the case in the Batman, but it is very close to it, because you see him just, you know, going around beating the dog shit out of fucking people for just being shitty people. And it's like, yes, please do more of that, where Batman's just going out at night and he's just giving motherfuckers the business. It's amazing. And then, like, by the end of the movie, he realizes, like, oh, fuck, what the Riddler's doing, what his goons are doing, that's my fault. I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't just go around just beating the fucking living dog shit out of people. No, because this has fucking consequences. Look at how radicalized the Riddler has turned these people, and he did it because of me. Like, there's progression there. That's why I really love the Batman and Batman v Superman, because you're looking at 2 different points in Batman's history, and they may not be the same Batman, but they're each version's collective history. You have them at very different points in their career, but they fucking learn something. They learn a fucking lesson. You don't really get that in 89. You don't really get that in Batman Returns. You kind of get it in Batman Forever, and then Batman and Robin is just one big fucking Adam West episode under a 90s moniker. But I digress. Barry killed a lot of people in season 1 and 2. Who? Refresh my memory. I forget. Who? Why can't Batman? Well, Lance, you know why? Because Batman fans are fucking fickle. Batman fans are always the ones that are so quick to shout, "My Batman doesn't kill! My Batman doesn't use guns! Zack Snyder murdered my favorite character, Jimmy Olsen! Ah!" That's them pounding sand in their beach hut, mother's cave den, whatever the fuck. In the 89 and 92, Keaton's Batman killed multiple times. This guy fucking blows up Axis chemicals. And he stuck a piece of dynamite on a henchman and fucking threw him down a fucking sewer. Hello? Okay, Absolute Batman, I think he did, but not in a very direct way, because I think it's an issue 2 where he basically laid out a bunch of dynamite underneath one of the city's roadsides or something. Like, it's a big area, and Batman basically detonates it, and fucking all of these goons just fall. However, Batman absolutely fucking takes off the hand of one goon with his axe, and it's fucking awesome. I love that shit. Well, I don't hear people complaining about Absolute Batman killing people. Well, Braden, because it's another universe and it's not main canon, so it doesn't matter. Ha ha ha, let me get my glasses, because I'm a fucking comic nerd and I read comics every fucking day because I love DC Comics and I love Marvel Comics and I fucking know the comics, and if it's not like the fucking comics, then it's not a fucking accurate representation of the fucking character. Y'all are some fucking dorks. You need to go get laid. Just saying. I can't stand that fucking criticism. It's not like the comic. You know how many fucking comics of these characters exist? Thousands, if not more. Tens of thousands, I'm sure. But good God. Good fucking Lord. I know you were happy Matt Reeves was allowed to finish his script. Well, maybe it's been done for quite some time. We just don't know. Barry killed majority of the week-to-week villains. I'm going to have to go back and watch The Flash season 1 because I genuinely don't remember. I hella don't remember any of that. I did watch the first 3 episodes of Ironheart. That was incredibly good. Bro, okay, that I remember. Oliver Queen absolutely fucking murders people in Arrow season 1. That I do remember for sure. And almost every live action Batman is killed. Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson. I don't think Pattinson's Batman has, but in the DCEU, Superman pulls Batman out of the darkness. How Batman acts in BVS and Justice League, Snyder's cut, obviously, is literally night and day. When I finally figured that out, I had a I get it now moment. It's almost like Zack Snyder had a fucking story in mind. Huh, what a novel concept. Anyway. Speaking of Ironheart, let's go ahead and talk about Ironheart a little bit. Ironheart is out now. The first 3 episodes are out. I've seen them. I've enjoyed them. Seriously, I enjoyed it. Like, it was actually not bad. Not that I thought it was going to be bad, but I was like, oh, this is actually pretty solid. I like that the first thing they do is kick Riri Williams out of MIT. She goes back to Chicago, goes back home. That was pretty cool. And then that's kind of what catches the attention of Parker, the Hood. And we all know where that fucking Hood came from. Mephisto confirmed. Anyway. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm kind of miffed that Disney's just kind of dumping it and letting it be like, okay, here's the first 3 episodes. And the next week they'll be like, okay, here's the last 3 episodes. It's like, really, guys? if you guys have been sitting on the show for as long as you have, you probably could have put it out in December and been fine. But I don't know. I just, but I really appreciate the love for the culture, the African American community in this show. I love that whenever you see Alden Ehrenreich's Joe Gillicuddy, whatever the spoilers for Ironheart, in case you already didn't fucking know, Alden Ehrenreich is not Joe McGillicuddy. No, bro, he's fucking Ezekiel Stain, Obadiah Stain's kid. But there's a couple points. Oh, crap. Did I just spoil something for Hosey? I haven't seen Ironheart, but the biggest criticism I hear is that Riri is unlikable. What say you? I wouldn't call her unlikable. I would just say that she has been through some very traumatic things. And when people go through something traumatic, especially with it being kind of fresh, they want to just kind of deal with it on their own. And that's kind of the thing that they're doing with the show, is she's still kind of reeling in from this very traumatic thing that happened to her. So she's really just trying to deal with it on her own terms in her own way. If that makes her unlikable, then that's not my perspective that I have on it. I would just say that I don't think she's unlikable personally, because I see what they're doing. Because again, when you go through something so traumatic, like what Riri went through, literally, like I can understand where she is in the headspace. Yeah, Ezekiel Stain. It's Obadiah Stain's kid for sure. But I see Donovan Martin has entered the chat. What's up, dude? Good luck on your job tomorrow. But yeah, man, like Ironheart was cool. Like I actually really dug it. I'm very curious to see how it all kind of ends. And again, you know, I've even talked to Lance about this. Like, it's really bothersome that they're just kind of dumping it and being like, oh, here you go. That's pretty fucked up. So I actually think, oh man, Dominique Thorne, I spaced on her name there. The actress playing Riri Williams. Really cool. Really effing cool. Hey man, Obadiah is literally sitting on a kitchen counter in a Ziploc bag. Ironheart is peak. The stuff with Natalie both is fun and depressing. Plus, I've missed the good old heads up display. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I do find it kind of funny that his ashes are just kind of sitting in a bag, but you know, maybe he just hasn't found a place to spread them. Maybe he doesn't have an urn to put them in. I don't know. Maybe he should put them in a bomb or something. Okay, that was bad. I do agree with you in that the stuff about Natalie, her being the AI, and her what transpires with the Natalie character and how relevant she is as the AI is really kind of like it's almost like Riri having to confront her trauma in a way, but also sidestep it, because this isn't Natalie as she knows Natalie. It's a fucking AI, right? I did like that there was some connectivity. Obviously, you know, you've got the MIT teacher from, was it Civil War? Yeah, Civil War. He's back, even though it's very brief in the first episode. It's like, okay, there's connectivity there. I also like I saw a clip from that douchebag Nerdrotic, and he's basically just like just trying to clown the intro of the first episode. And he's all just like, oh, you know, when you do something like this, you alienate your audience. And it's just like, you bigoted, dumb fuck. It's very easy to just say, you know, the show is not geared towards me. I am not the target audience. And I'm not either. I'm absolutely not the target audience for this show. That doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. That doesn't mean I can see what they're laying out. I see the themes. I see exactly what they're doing. I see all of the things that they're tackling when it comes to the Black community. I see the storytelling and how it's reflective of things happening in modern day. I get it 1000%. The thing that pisses me off is you've got these fucking dumbasses like Dork Roddick, like fucking dipshit Geeks and Gamer, fucking D-Day Cobra, Jeremy, whatever the fuck that idiot's name is, or Kennel Outpost, what, like those fucking idiots at Geeks and Gamers, man. They're always just like, oh, it's woke, it's woke, it's woke, it's woke. Just go ahead and say you're fucking bigoted. It's not a white male named Chris, and you don't like it because of that reason. You're fucking racist, the whole lot of them. Enough said. Anyway, no, man, I liked Ironheart. I think my biggest criticism isn't even pertinent to the fucking show itself. It's how Disney Plus is fucking releasing it, and I don't even put that on Marvel. I don't know that Marvel even had a say in how it got released. I don't know. Like, I'm not a fly on that wall. I don't understand the logistics of any of that. So when it comes to doing a release model, I don't know if that's Disney or if that's Marvel. I don't fucking know. I wish I knew. Then I'd have a better understanding. But hey, I like the show for what we've seen so far. I'm curious to see how it ends. And again, my biggest criticism is I think that, again, they've just kind of shafted the show, and it definitely gains and garners a negative perception on how they treat content that is, predominantly, POC and like, oh, fuck, words are hard, but like when it comes to content that is not catered to, a very specific audience, and when it's stuff that is about equality, when it's content catered towards a very specific culture of people, like they just kind of, it comes and it goes, and that's it. It's almost like they don't want to either deal with the backlash or deal with the fucking loud idiots. Like I'm just frustrated. I'm very frustrated with their release model of this show going forward, and I hope they don't do it to future stuff. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. What are you guys saying? It's a memory of Natalie, a ghost in the machine. That's a good way of putting it, Dalton, if I'm being brutally honest. Final trailer for Fantastic Four, really interesting. So glad they're saving Galactus. We will get to that, Mum. What? Don't worry. I can't stand these grifter channels. That. I can't either. I fucking hate them. Wouldn't get my hopes up, but the Hood and Mephisto do have a connection, so maybe Mephisto shows up in the show, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Apparently he might. I don't know. I don't know. It's a large possibility, apparently. Everything sucks. That's right. Nerdrotic is a Nazi who thinks he knows things when all he knows is how to get his knees and take it. Hopefully a pineapple gets shoved up there eventually. Preach, Phil. Thank you, Samir. Thank you. Going out with the trailer with Superman, namely because they were showing a lot in Superman, but not Fantastic Four, and I'm getting so damn tired of people calling it mid. Let's see. I seen the video of Nerdrotic, and it's true. Try to get Natalie Black names. That's fucking racist. That's not surprising, though. I agree with you, Phil. Ironheart should have been a weekly show. I agree. It should have been weekly. They should have done the first 2 episodes, then done the rest of them every week leading up to Fantastic Four. Really makes me go, they're probably not going to have Wonder Man be weekly. They're probably going to release it all at once. I fucking hope not, dude. They better not do that. That would really fucking piss in my cheers if they did that. Braden is controlling Parker Robbins. You see it in episode 3 because someone is using Parker Robbins. Yeah, a lot of people are kind of under the assumption that it's Mephisto. I don't know who they cast as Mephisto, but he might show up. Apparently, he for sure might. I don't know. Wonder Man is going to bring all the peons out. Yes, Jeffrey, a pineapple, just like little Nicky. Wonder Man is going to bring them peons out. Wonder Man's going to bring out all the fucking idiots. People are going to be like, he went from Aquaman to this woke shit. That's what I say to that. Anyway, speaking of Fantastic Four, since Mumbo brought it up, there's some concept art that was floating around from an early 2000s movie. And I wanted to share it with you guys because it actually looks pretty fucking cool. At least in my opinion, it looks pretty fucking cool. But this is canceled. This is concept art for a canceled early 2000 Fantastic Four film. You guys see that? Look at those suits. So you got Johnny here being able to control his fire through his fists. They got Silver and dark blue. You got the Thing, who's like, all gray, which is quite a departure from, the traditional orange color. I find that very interesting. And Sue Storm looking a little revealing. And of course, you got Mr. Fantastic here. I feel like these are more like, yeah, right, Dalton, exactly. It is very, very, very early 2000s for sure. Like, and I get it. I kind of dig it. Like, going back to the early 2000s, had they actually done this, I would have been like, okay, I'm down with it. It'd been different. Would have been very edgy. This would be the best way to say that, right? Pretty edgy, all things considered. This looks like the Superman Lives concept art. Well, that's true. It's funny. It's very, very true. It does. It does kind of look like that. Maybe they're the same artist. I don't know. But that's what Dr. Doom would have looked like. Oh boy, that's a choice. That is a choice. Oh man, that is certainly a choice. Instead of having a metal iron mask, his muscles and his actual skin would have been turned to metal. Dalton was like, yeah, those don't look half bad. And then immediately he's like, yikes. Oh shit. Never mind. Oh man. Yeah, I'd found this and I was like, oh, that's cool. I gotta look at this. This is pretty fucking badass. Pretty fucking cool, right? Pretty fucking cool. Well, Dr. Doom, not so much, but the Fantastic Four, fuck yeah, I thought this was pretty fucking cool looking. I thought these were great. I really like Johnny's suit. I almost want to see a variation of these suits in the MCU somewhere down the line. But I doubt they'll do the open chest 4 for Sue. I doubt they'll do that. The actual 2005 Doom looks better than that Doom. Well, yeah, I can't really disagree there. That Julian McMahon Doom looks really good compared to this. I mean, saw those that look great, especially Sue Doom. What the fuck? Yeah. I really like this. This was actually, I gotta admit, like I looked down, I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. Nice little what could have been. Thought that was pretty nice. Pretty nice looking stuff there. But yeah, speaking of Fantastic Four. Now, I do have a trailer reaction and breakdown, but let's just go ahead. Actually, hold on. There's a new 30-second spot here. Let's watch that. Shall we? Shall we? Get it all queued up. All right, guys, check this out. This is me reacting to this 30-second spot titled Welcome.
One ordinary family
4 astronauts go up into space and come back forever changed.
will become fantastic. On July 25th,
Your planet is marked for death.
We will protect you.
As a family.
their greatest strength
Johnny, quit screwing around!
is each other.
I tell you how to drive the ship. Don't tell me how to kill sexy aliens.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four. Get tickets now.
Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. A couple more shots of Johnny and Ben. I think that was a shot of Galactus' ship, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but that was pretty cool. That was very cool. I'm really looking forward to this movie. This is arguably my most anticipated comic book film of the entire year. Definitely. This is hands down my most anticipated superhero film of the year, without question. I'm really looking forward to Fantastic Four. That trailer yesterday, or rather that trailer from Wednesday, I'll say we didn't need it, but I will also say that like it didn't reveal much, if at all, which I think is also good. And I think we're finally now starting to see a real heavy marketing push for Fantastic Four because it does come out 2 weeks after Superman, which, you know, that's cool. But I think we're finally starting to see a large marketing push for Fantastic Four, which is great. You know what else is great? Didn't get a chance to talk about this last week, well, because I just didn't have a show. But did y'all see who's coming to Spider-Man 4? That's right. John Bernthal, Punisher, joins Tom Holland in Brand New Day. John Bernthal has appeared in several Marvel television series as a stone-cold vigilante known as the Punisher, even headlining his own series. Now he's taking his guns to the big screen. Bernthal has joined Tom Holland in Spider-Man Brand New Day, the latest Spider-Man movie from Sony and Marvel. Destin Daniel Cretton is directing the feature, which will shoot in England in the summer and has a July 31st, 2026 release date. Much of the movie remains shrouded in mystery. Movie rumor websites have listed upwards of a dozen possible villains, from crime bosses to alien symbiotes who could appear in the feature, as well as a couple different versions of the Hulk. The only thing at this stage is that Zendaya and Jacob Batalon will reprise their role as MJ and Ned, although how substantial those roles will be remain unclear. Stranger star Sadie Sink is a new addition. The story takes place after the events of No Way Home, in which the entire world knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and then that knowledge was erased. Bernthal's The Punisher seems to point to a slightly more grounded angle on the story, as the character hails from a gritty street corner of Marvel universes, and in the comics at least, uses fists, knives, guns to tussle with bad guys, rather than spells or fancy tech. But hey, having him square off against a rampaging Hulk could be fun too. Bernthal's first show as Frank Castle was in Daredevil. Marvel is betting on more Punisher and Bernthal in the months and years to come. The character is set to return for season 2 of Born Again, and Marvel is bringing Bernthal back for a Punisher standalone feature for Disney+. Bernthal is co-writing the latter. Curiously, one non-negotiable he had for his return to Daredevil was maintaining the character's violent R-rated feel. It will be interesting to see how that translates into a more kid-friendly tone to Spider-Man movies. Okay, fucking hold on. Fucking what? Kid-friendly? No. Okay. The last movie, you literally saw Aunt May die. You saw Peter go into a fucking apartment by himself. Spider-Man is effectively grown up. Okay? He's more of an adult now. And I think the people who have been subjected to the trilogy with Tom Holland, they've grown up with him too. So they're probably grown. Yes, you can still make a Spider-Man story and have it be, PG-13, cater to children to an extent, I suppose, because the last 3 movies were PG-13. But let's not act like just because the Punisher's here doesn't mean he's going to get fucking watered down. Like Jeffrey points out in the chat, look at the 90s animated show. That did Punisher and Blade in the Spider-Man TV show from the 90s. And let's also not forget, as the article mentioned, one of John Bernthal's non-negotiables was like, you need to make me fucking R-rated for me to reprise this role. So I don't think he's like, what's the word here? I don't think he's compromising, but I think he's absolutely like on board enough with the material for Spider-Man Brand New Day to be like, yeah, I'll do it. So that's my 2 cents on it. I think that's why he's in the movie. They're probably going for some kind of street angle. Wouldn't shock me. Love John Bernthal. He was great in The Accountant too, among other things. I agree completely. He probably will call Spider-Man blue. Would not shock me. This was a surprise. Never would I see Frank fucking Castle in a Spider-Man movie, but here we are. Let's fucking go. I think the villain, the Punisher, will be going after in Brand New Day will be Mr. Negative or the Scorpion. The Punisher is going to call Spider-Man Web. I'm excited for it. Sure brings me back to the 90s. That's right. The reason I say that is because the Scorpion Ultimate version is a cartel boss. Hey, Belle, how you doing? Kid-friendly, Sam Raimi's trilogy, and even Mark Webb's films were dark. Right. I just think it's kind of ignorant to assume that these movies are, kid-friendly when there was a lot of dark shit that happened in all 3 of those movies and the other 5 movies to boot. So I will say that, Vincent D'Onofrio did mention that the character rights of the Kingpin were tied up But I looked into this. Apparently, Fox paid Sony back in the day when they made Daredevil. Fox paid Sony to use Kingpin. So, and Kingpin appeared in a Spider-Man comic initially, and I would think that Kingpin is probably a Spider-Man villain by all technicality. So, also coupled with the fact that John Bernthal's Punisher is in this movie now, I would say the chances of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin and Charlie Cox's Daredevil appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day just increased immensely. Because think about it. If Sony is the studio that holds up the rights to Kingpin as a character in film, and Fox had to fucking pay them back in the day 22 years ago to use the character, and things haven't changed, that would then in turn lead to Kingpin's rights, I would assume, being owned by Sony Pictures. Hence why you also probably saw why fucking Kingpin was a villain in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And Daredevil wasn't around for that. Yeah, I'm thinking the only reason why Kingpin hasn't shown up in any other Marvel movie is probably because his rights are tied with Sony. That's my guess. And I bet you donuts to dollars, if Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio get cast in this movie, my suspicions will have been confirmed. But again, that's just me. Just me. I think the Punisher and Spider-Man will be at odds. They will have to work together to take down Mr. Negative. I think everyone's just kind of under the impression that Mr. Negative is probably going to be the villain in this movie, purely because of the fact that Mr. Negative is the villain in the Brand New Day comic. So it kind of makes sense, considering he is like another crime boss in New York, you know, and Kingpin is, I would have to imagine, still possibly mayor. Because remember, Spider-Man Brand New Day will come out after Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So whatever happens after whatever happens after Born Again Season 2 may have some kind of significance on the plot of Brand New Day. But we'll see what happens. Mr. Negative needs to be in this movie along with Kingpin and maybe Scorpion. I've been saying for a long time, like, if Michael Mando's Scorpion gets out of Seagate prison and he needs a new like boss to work for, Kingpin is right there. If not him, Tombstone. Just saying. Who is your Mount Rushmore superheroes? Obviously, Batman is up there. Who else? Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. Who's my number 4? Let me look at my wall and I'll tell you in a minute. Oh, Wolverine. Yeah, Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Wolverine. End of conversation. Those are my top 4, without question. Period, bar none. Easily. It is Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Wolverine, in that order. Kingpin's first appearance was in Spider-Man No More. Yeah, I say he's a Spider-Man villain first, Daredevil villain second. Absolutely. Who is your super villain Mount Rushmore? Shit. That's a good one. The Joker, Magneto, Reverse Flash. God, who's my number 4? Dr. Otto Octavius. There we go. And even then, the Marvel duo, like Magneto and Dr. Otto Octavius, they've bounced from being heroic to villain multiple times. Less so Dr. Octopus, but yeah. I would say that Carnage, Venom, and the Riddler are down there as honorable mentions for sure. I will say that. Definitely. If Charlie is in this, I might cry. For real. Too bad we can't have Blade, then it will be a real Spider-Man 90s. I know, right? What did you think of that Superman clip where Superman is getting pissed off at Lex Luthor and Lex having Mrs. Hessmacher tape the whole thing? Well, Mumbutt, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's watch it. Can you guys hear the excitement in my voice?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be...
Lex, I tried to stop him.
It's fine, Heather. Superman, we finally meet. Would you like a coffee?
Where's the dog?
Dog?
The dog, Luthor! You took the dog!
That's right, you get all of this.
Where's the dog?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
He's just a dog.
I don't know what dog you're talking about. Ugly dog, okay?
What did you say?
Yeah, so that's a scene in the movie, apparently. What do I think of it? How do I say this nicely? I didn't like it. I just nope. Nope. Not for me. The more I see of David Cornsweet's Superman, the more I'm like, yep, nope. Not a fan of this. Not really a fan of the emotional outbursting Superman who gets all in his feels over, Luthor stealing his dog or Lois Lane asking him some really hard questions. I think that, like, listen, and I say this as someone who's seen Superman have emotional reactions to other things and other things, like in other projects, like in the animated series, like in Smallville. Even though I've seen like a handful of Smallville episodes, but even still, like I've seen him, that version of Clark Kent have an emotional outburst. I've seen, as Lance mentions, Tyler Hoechlin also emotional outburst. Obviously, there's the scene in Man of Steel where he fucking beats the snot out of Zod saying, "You think you can hurt my mother?" Like, I think there are ways in which it's just executed better. And again, this is probably going to fucking, like, people are probably going to be like, "Oh, you just hate James Gunn." It's like, no, I don't hate him. I just don't like the way he writes fucking characters. I just didn't like the execution. And I think, like, he's clearly falling into the trap that Lex Luthor is laying out for him. And what even bothers me more is, like, I really dislike how Lex Luthor is being played in this movie. Like, the more I see of that, the more I just think of him as just a whiny fucking incel who gets his way every time. Like, he doesn't sound menacing to me. He doesn't sound intimidating. He's just fucking yelling, or he's just being kind of a smug little prick. And not in, like, the fun way either. Like, there was... No, Lance, it's not DCAU, because DCAU Lex is Clancy Brown, and Clancy Brown's octaves and voice is far superior to whatever the fuck Nicholas Hoult is doing. Just my 2 cents. Because you have a very commanding presence there with that version of Lex Luthor, and I do not get this sense at all with this version of Lex. The movies, Rainn Wilson. See, I didn't even like Rainn Wilson either. I think he's kind of a fucking wimpo Lex Luthor too. Sorry, I just don't like Lex Luthor kind of fucking being a wimpo. I'm sure a lot of people probably fucking think that about Jesse Eisenberg, and that's fine. Like, I kind of get it, but at the same time, like, he was actually pretty fucking smart. This guy, it's like, oh, you can literally see the plot unfold. Like, how do you guys think Luthor got a hold of Crypto? Oh, probably when he broke into the fucking Fortress of Solitude. That's my guess. How did he get into the Fortress of Solitude? Probably because Ultraman is some kind of clone of Superman. Gee, why is he telling Eve Tessmacher to fucking videotape Superman? Probably because he's going to taint Superman's public image. Wow, I've seen this in a fucking Superman movie before. All I'm saying is I have seen what James Gunn is doing better in other projects. And by better, I mean preferentially for me, what I find to be, again, just, you know, everyone has a preference. And James Gunn just isn't my creative preference, man. Like, I didn't like the Suicide Squad. I think Guardians 2 is not great. I like Guardians 1, Guardians 3, and Creature Commandos. I don't like Peacemaker. I'm going to tell you guys what I've been telling other friends. I can't fucking wait to watch this movie, get my review out there, wash my hands of it, have a conversation with the guys and everyone else on the Vodka stream and every other stream I'll be on, talk about it, get my feelings out about it, and then be fucking done with it. Seriously, I can't fucking wait to just be done talking about this goddamn movie, because I see both sides. I see the fucking Snyder cult and I see the Gunn nuts. I see them both just having a fucking field day, bickering and bitching at each other. And I'm just like, motherfucker, I just want to watch this goddamn movie and be done with it. Will I like it? Maybe a little. I don't know. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, I'm literally 50-50 on James Gunn. We'll see. We'll see what happens on July 8th, because that's when I see the movie. Will I like it? I will let you know. For sure. Definitely. Lance, you're a fucking rational fan, dude. You just like to troll. But you troll with love, not malicious intent. Anyway. What are you guys saying? What are you all saying? If someone stole your cats, how would you react? Well, if someone stole my cat and they were dumb enough to let me know they stole my cat, I wouldn't even hesitate. I would probably find them, probably yank their nails off until they told me where my cat was. Then once they tell me where my cat is, yeah, that's the end of it. They get put in the ground. It's that simple. But like, I'm not going to like walk into someone's office and destroy their personal property. And again, like I'm probably nitpicking even just by saying that. But at the same time, what did people do to Zack Snyder and Man of Steel and BVS when it came to Superman? They nitpicked the fuck out of that. Har har. Pot calling kettle black much? Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, I understand the presentation. I am just not a fan of the execution. Corin Sweat is coming off just kind of, I don't know, like very almost too emotional. Maybe I just don't like a Superman that's overtly emotional and up in his feels every time he gets challenged. You know, a lot of people like to say that Henry Cavill was like brooding and dark and gloomy and all this shit. And I'm just like, well, if I had that much power and I was being scrutinized just for trying to help people, yeah, I'd probably get a little fucking sad too. I'd probably get a little depressed that no matter what I did, it just felt like the world is literally just fucking continuing to weigh me down. Whereas here, you've got a guy who's so arrogant in his power. He's like, no, I stopped a war. No, that's exactly what I did. Oh, people were going to die. It's like, yeah, I get it, dude. Like, you feel very strongly about this, but at the same time, it's just like, maybe I just don't like a Superman who's emotionally reactive to almost everything. And it feels like we're seeing a Superman that's overtly emotionally reactive. And I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm saying it doesn't work for me. And I'm not going to say that it doesn't work for the character. I'm just saying it's not something I like. And I think a lot of people really get stuck in that mindset of, oh, because I think it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work overall. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. When you firmly believe that your opinion is a fact, that is where you fail. And I'm not saying that to you, Josie. I'm just saying, like, of the conversations that I've seen and over the decade plus I've been online, that is where people truly lose me, is when they are so firm in their opinions being facts. Yes, I have seen that. David Goyer did talk about that. Yep, that's Lex. That's what we'll say about the scene. Pretty much, right? It was meh. I don't like people complaining about him being angry. Like, shit, Superman is allowed to be angry. I don't disagree. I'm not saying Superman shouldn't be angry. I'm not saying he shouldn't, like, take things in stride. I mean, anyone steals your animal, go fucking hunt them down and mangle them. Absolutely. That's where I'm at. Dude, Ultraman is not Henry Cavill. Get off this train, my guy. Someone had the nerve to say online Nicholas Holt's version of Lex was trying to emulate Michael Rosenbaum. Well, Nicholas Holt did say that he was inspired by Rosenbaum and Gene Hackman. I don't necessarily see the Rosenbaum, and even then, like, I'm biased because I don't really like Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor all that much. And Jedi Mike, if you're watching, I know you're probably going to jot my name down in your fucking death notebook. It's fine. It's already there like 5 times. It's all good, bud. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that version either. But that's just me. I'm, again, like, I look at, like, this version of Lex and I'm like, all right, we're getting a Lex Luthor that's, you know, from the comics, and he's bald and he's, you know, angry and he doesn't like Superman. I'm just like, yeah, but why? Show me the vanity. Show me the reason why you actually don't fucking like him. Like, I want to see that. That's what I want to see. Would have been better if either was just silent or just holding back the rage. Yeah. Yes. Superman is so precious to everybody. Everyone has their own way of Superman should act. I get it, man. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and that's something I've even brought up too. Everyone has their own idea of what Superman is, what he embodies, and what he brings to the table. And it's never, if you find like-minded people, great. If you don't, try to be civil. It's when people don't act civil is when it becomes a fucking problem. I love cats. My wife hates them. I can't own one. Sad face. That is a sad face. I'm sorry. OC, that's a shame. I just want it to be July 11th already. I'm so tired of Snyder Cult and the James Gunn fans. Amen to that, Braden. So am I. Honestly, he shouldn't have said anything to Superman. He should have kept his cup in front of him in the mouth and not talked at all. I mean, I wouldn't have minded that. No, Lance, you're absolutely right. We don't have the full context. I'm just going off of what footage has been presented to me and piecing together possible plot scenarios. Again, I don't know. But you're not wrong. We do not have the context. You're correct. When did Chainsaw pop in? I didn't see Chainsaw pop in. Where the fuck is Chainsaw? I don't see his comment. Oh, there it is. Woke nonsense. Says the white guy with glasses. Hi. Let's see. That's fair. I just want to watch the movie, move on from it, because I said over and over, I'm more interested in Fantastic Four than I am Superman. Don't be sorry, man. Like, everyone has a preference. That's exactly how I feel. Like, and I've made this known here. I've made it known on Council. I've made it known on Party Nation. I've made it known on the Vodka stream. Like, for years after the Fan Four Stick fiasco, people were like, Philip, what kind of Fantastic Four movie do you want? And I would tell people, I want a period piece set in the 60s. I'm literally getting the movie that I want. I don't, the story be damned. Tell me a good story. That's, yeah, I hope for a good story. But the fact of the matter is, like, you have the Fantastic Four, they're set in the 60s, and it's a fucking alternate reality outside of the MCU. The cast is fucking perfect. Yeah, I'm happy. Phil Big happy. Phil is the fucking big happy when it comes to Fantastic Four. I'm fucking wet for the Fantastic Four movie. Ask Lance. Ask Lance how often my pants get fucking cream filled when I think about that fucking movie, guys. I shit you not. Like, that movie, I am over the fucking moon excited for this movie. And then I look at Superman and I'm like, I wish I was on that same level, and I'm just not. And that is both the beauty and the curse of having knowledge and education in regards to filmmaking, in regards to film criticism, film theory, and things like that, taking college classes and courses about writing. Like, I can't look at movies the same way that I used to. And when some of my friends look at me, they go, dude, you look too deep into this shit. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's a blessing and a fucking curse. So, yeah. I get it. I get it. I know Crypto is going to be fine because he has a very important part in Supergirl. If people are fucking mad about what's happening with Crypto in this movie, oh, just wait till they see what happens to him in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Superman wouldn't give him any ass. That's why. Lance just hit the fucking nail on the head right there, my friends. Superman wouldn't give him any ass. Oh, they changed the title from Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow to Supergirl. Yeah. I don't even know what woke means anymore. If you say something's woke and you're serious about it, that's just you basically saying I'm bigoted without saying I'm bigoted. Bingo. There it is. My idea is and will always be one from Superman, the animated series, and Justice League, and JLU. Yeah, that's fair. Totally fair. They're probably going to change the title of Batman Brave and the Bold to just Batman or Batman and Son. I think it is for sure just going to be called Batman and Son. Because Batman, the Brave and the Bold, that's a mouthful of a fucking title. They also could have had him flying outside the window, staring Lex down, just throwing ideas out. Seen that plenty of times in other mediums, and it works just as effectively. I just think it's just so... I'm sure it's intentional, but it's just so petty for Superman to just bust in the door and be like, where's my dog? And Lex Luthor's just like, oh, hello, Superman. Finally, we meet. And what the fuck? Like, you kidnapped the dude's dog? You expected him to come here? Okay, I guess. I'm always cream-filled. No wonder you have 4 kids. Huh? 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 And we are getting damn Franklin Richards in the MCU for the first time. Plus, the movie does well. We'll get a sequel with Reed and Sue's daughter, who's one of the smartest people in Marvel. Valeria Richards, that's right. Now, if they do Valeria, will they do the origin of the name too? Because Dr. Doom plays a very important part when it comes to naming that second child. You kind of need that. So, interesting. Where can I find you on other streams? So, on Tuesdays, you can find me on the Party Nation stream hosted by one Lance Geek Drums in the chat. Wednesday, Council Creators hosted by Chainsaw Reacts. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then later on tonight, the Vodka stream over on the Film Junkies YouTube channel. He starts at 7. I usually get there at about 8-ish. And that's if I'm fortunate enough to get an invite, which most of the time I usually am, which I do love Dave. Dave's a great friend of mine. We chat all the time, offline, a bunch of other shit, about a bunch of different shit. He was just telling me how great F1 is. So I'm sure I'll probably be on the Vodka stream tonight. We'll see. I'm sure I will, but, always just like to humble myself and just, never expect it, but it's always a nice, a message from him is like, you in tonight? I'm like, yeah, sure, man. I'll happily come in. But yeah, that's where you can find me outside of here. Sometimes recently I've been kind of coming in for Darren's Sanctuary. He's on his channel occasionally. So there is that. Superman could be a bad movie, and I would be like, I got a movie coming out in a couple weeks, and I'm super excited for Fantastic Four. I know it's going to be a great movie. I mean, Superman could be a fucking complete and total misfire, and I'd be like, well, all right, watch that. Now on to Fantastic Four. I agree, Braden. I'm right there with you. Same deal. I just don't want Superman to be a dumbass. If he learns on the job, I'm cool. Okay, you know what? I think you just brought up a really great point. I would also posit that he's 3 years into this job as a superhero. Still learning? Absolutely. Be very interesting to see what lesson he does learn at the end of this movie, if any at all. My hog is always wet with my mention of Oh my God. Jeffrey. Still, I'm excited for Superman, but this red, I need to watch the movie when it comes out. Fantastic Four is looking fantastic. Ah! Hell yeah. And Droga's in the chat. Welcome, Droga. Okay, so we've got about little over 10 minutes. But do the thing I always do in my show, and we actually saved it till the very end this time. But let's get into some box office banner, everybody. That's right. Okay, so I wasn't here last week, so we got a whole week of shit to talk about and missed and whatnot. Blah, 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 blah. But I do have Box Office Mojo pulled up. Let's see what the latest dailies are. So, according to this, as of Wednesday, June 25th, is this... Let me refresh the page. Does it still say Wednesday? No, Thursday. Okay, hold on. Okay, as of Thursday, January 26th, How to Train Your Dragon pulled in an additional 4 million. It is currently sitting at 380 million worldwide. Not a bad haul for a budget of, I think it would have a budget of like 180, something like that. How to Train Your Dragon's going strong. Elio, worldwide total, $45 million. Apparently, Elio had the lowest domestic opening weekend for a Pixar film, which is wild to me. Draven, who's usually in the chat sometimes, I know he really liked it. But yeah, that movie is not doing well at all. 28 years later is at a worldwide total of $70,653,000. So $70.6 million worldwide. It's not too bad. Not too bad. 28 years later, and apparently there's another film coming out after that too. So they've already got that little franchise going. Lilo and Stitch is steadily climbing towards that $1 billion mark. And it is at a worldwide grand total of $917,458,591. And it currently has a theater capacity as of yesterday. Wow. So worldwide, widest release of 4,410 theaters. It's currently still playing as of yesterday in 3,375 theaters. And it made another million yesterday. Fuck, this movie just might make it to $1 billion, guys. This might be the first $1 billion W of 2025. Hot shit. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, it's only lost about just 1,000 theaters. That's not too bad. Let's check out Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Currently sitting at a worldwide total of $548,447,651. So $548.4 million. Not too shabby, even though the movie cost about $400 million to make. I'm sure Paramount's not too worried about it due to COVID and the strikes, setting that budget, ballooning it to a lovely little $400 million before marketing. Yikes. Even still, I think Paramount, if they wanted to, once everything, once they all reel in from the repercussions of the strikes, et cetera, they'll probably greenlight another one in a couple years or in a year. I don't know. Stitch is getting the dough for Disney. That's right, my friend. Albert, not a retro. Thanks for tuning in. Little tight for cash. Got laid off. Gunn Superman will fail because he doesn't respect the lore. Guardians of the Galaxy was successful in spite of him, not because of him. Very interesting take. I will say that. Superman will fail because he doesn't respect the lore. I don't know that Superman will fail, so let's go ahead and get into that really quick, because those movies I just listed off were the current box offices of this past weekend. And now this upcoming weekend, we have the release of course, F1, which, let's see. I did see an article here from the Hollywood Reporter about that. Okay, here we go. So, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Brad Pitt's F1 fires up box office with $10 million in previews. Megan's sequel takes in 1.5. The Formula One movie directed by Joseph Kosinski from Top Gun Maverick has already banked a hefty $10 million in previews. The domestic box office officially opening everywhere today. That includes $7 million in Thursday showings and $3 million from a host of sneak screenings. Wow, it's not bad at all. Warner Brothers distributing with helping Apple to market the big budget summer tentpole, which is tipped to open $40 million to $50 million in North America, another $75 million for a global total of $115 worldwide million. The film has a huge advantage in having a lock on IMAX screens for 3 weeks, in addition to playing other premium large formats, including Dolby Cinema, for part of the time. One major caveat: the movie sports a hefty production budget of at least $200 million before marketing. Ooh, that's not good. So, if it makes 115 its opening weekend, and it is, the dad blockbuster of the summer, which is looking like it just might be. I've heard a lot of people say great things about F1. I would not doubt it probably will be like the dad movie of the summer. Wouldn't doubt that one bit. Not at all. As for Megan, that one is it's the sequel, right? Apparently it's set 2 years after the AI doll went on I haven't even seen the first one, so all this is just completely spoiler territory for me, so bear with me, guys. Went on a murder spree to protect her young human charge, Violet McGraw, and was subsequently shelved. Her creator, the aunt of the young girl, is now a high-profile author, advocate for government oversight over AI. But when another AI creature emerges that is even more dangerous, Megan is resurrected and mayhem ensues. Filmmaker Gerard Johnstone returned to direct the sequel from a story he wrote alongside Akilah Cooper, based on characters created by Cooper and James Wan. Actors Brian Jordan Alvarez, Jen Van Epps return alongside McGraw Williams, while franchise newcomers include Aristotle Authary, Tim Sharp, Grammy winner, 11-time nominee Jermaine Clement. What is the budget for Megan? What is the budget for Megan? Does it say what the budget is? I don't think so. So the original budget for the first movie was $12 million, went on to gross $181 million. That's actually really incredible. The second one has a budget of, $15 to $25 million. So opening on a Thursday to $1.5 million, that's not too bad. That is not too bad. We'll see how the weekend shakes out for those, right? Let's see. Hosi says, I've seen Jurassic World Rebirth. Reviews are really bad, but I've seen some call it Jurassic World Refund. What have you seen? I will be seeing Jurassic World Rebirth next Thursday because I am not going to my company picnic. I do not want to sit out in 100+ degrees weather and possibly get heat stroke or whatever. I don't want to deal with that. So I am going to go see that movie instead at the theater closest to my job. I have not picked up a ticket yet because I'm just going to wait until I get paid next week to get that ticket. Also because I probably have to replace a battery for my car tomorrow anyway, so it's just better if I wait. But I do think that Jurassic World is tracking fairly well. Let's see. That's from 2 weeks ago. What does Reddit say? Oh, this is from Box Office Pro. So according to Box Office Pro, we're getting pretty close to it. The release is next week. Domestic opening weekend range. 3-day is anywhere between 100 million to 120 million. 4-day, 110 to 130 million. 5-day, 130 to 150 million. Jurassic World Rebirth. First franchise to come out in early July. Early entries all came out in June, giving it a unique opportunity to draw in moviegoers enjoying the long weekend, right? But people also want to go see fireworks, so there is that too. over the last few years, the first full weekend of July has been somewhat unpredictable. Well, none of it's predictable. 2024, 2022, and 2017 entries in Despicable Me franchise respectively dominated as expected. Spider-Man Far From Home took the crown in 2019. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough to say for Jurassic World Rebirth. It's really going to boil down to like word of mouth, and I've heard mixed things about it as well. So we'll see if it's, you know, worth a shit or not worth a shit. A friend of mine said it is the best Jurassic sequel since the first movie, or rather, it is the best Jurassic sequel following the movie. Whether that remains to be seen for me, I don't know, because I just feel like I've seen a lot of these elements in previous movies before. So we'll see about that. But I can promise you, once Superman comes out the next week, those dino legs are just getting chopped. Chop, chop, chop. Done, done. Bye-bye. No more. If you look at Garden's comic, he got everything wrong. Most of the characters in the movies aren't right, especially Yondu. 180 from the comics, by the way. Sorry for writing your name wrong before. I mean, number one, don't worry about writing my name wrong. That's fine. It's no big deal. Number two, I guess it kind of depends on what Guardians of the Galaxy comic you're looking for or looking from. I know he pulled from a very modern run where it was Quill and Gamora and all them. Yondu was a previous incarnate. Again, I don't really know. Thank you for subbing. I really do appreciate it. But again, I guess it just kind of depends on like, what do you really want out of a comic book film called Guardians of the Galaxy? How much Guardians of the Galaxy have you read? And what exactly were you looking for? I mean, I've not read an ounce of Guardians of the Galaxy, so I just kind of went to those movies as movies. And even then, like, I didn't like 2, but I like 1 and 3. But that's just me. Did you see Michael Bay is possibly coming back to Transformers? Okay, yes, I did. And that even leads into some of my Jurassic World theory in regards to its box office, because I think so many fans are so soured by what happened with Dominion that they're going to approach this next Jurassic World movie, even though it might be good. People are going to be like, I can wait. Like, this is so close to when Dominion came out. Dominion came out in 2022. It's 2025. 3 years. That's a tricky window. You're either going to get a really good sequel or not. So I think people are probably looking at this and going, yeah, I don't know. I just might wait, because you have Superman the week after that. And then 2 weeks after that, you have Fantastic Four. A week after Superman, you have I Know What You Did Last Summer, as well as Eddington, that A24 film with Pedro Pascal in it, and Smurfs. And honestly, I don't think anyone gives a shit about Smurfs, but I do think that Michael Bay coming back to do Transformers may set a bad precedent, in the form of, like, I wonder if it is the case. I wonder if Paramount is looking at that and going, well, Transformers 1 didn't really do it for us. The other Transformers movies we didn't have with Michael Bay didn't make as much money as we had with Michael Bay. So fuck it. Let's just give Michael Bay the keys to Transformers again. Like, I don't know if that's the best idea, but Paramount's going to do what Paramount's going to do. I also just really hope that the Snyder cult doesn't look at this situation and go, well, see, Paramount did it for Transformers. Let's get Zack back for DC. No. Fuck off. Like, this entitled bullshit is bullshit. I just hope that this doesn't set a bad precedent, personally. Adaptions don't copy and paste, Albert. So how did you get it wrong? Let's see. I have Braden. I don't know how I feel about that yet. Did you see? Oh, okay. You were responding to that. They might be showing a 16 to 20 second teaser of the Odyssey. I've heard that. I have heard that they might show a teaser for the Odyssey. That'd be cool. Yes, great point. This could be the last night of Jurassic movies. And that's the shit part, because from people that I've heard who I trust have seen it. They've said they've liked it and said that it's, the closest one to capture the spirit of the original movie. So we're probably going to have like an opposite of quality situation when it comes to, like, Transformers to Jurassic Park. But I do think that, like, just general audiences are looking at it and being like, yeah, no, we can wait. We can absolutely wait. Little Jimmy and little Callie, they can fucking, sit in their room and play with their Lego dinosaurs. We'll wait till it hits VOD. But I don't know. I don't want that dude directing any more Transformers movies. He'll know that Tom Holland is James Bond. Give a damn break. Still enjoyed the movies, but I have liked them to be more comic accurate. I'm a comic book guy. Okay, that's fair. Totally fair. Into the Clowns, who said there will be not be a sequel to the Batman. Shut up. Amen to that. Personally, I think Transformers needs a full reboot. That's just me. I agree. Got to go for now. I'll be back. Remember, to each their own. 100%. Yeah, each their own. 1,000%. But when it comes to box office, again, I would just like to reiterate, like, July is going to be a very interesting month for the box office when the last weekend of July is set in stone. So let's touch back base. Well, unfortunately, looks like the last box office banter, if I'm looking at the schedule, will be the day that Fantastic Four releases, because a week after that is the 1st of August. So there is that. And someone did mention James Bond in the chat. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way as well. Denis Villeneuve has been courted to direct the next James Bond movie. There is no James Bond actor attached yet, but James Bond is making a return in the form of Denis Villeneuve. To give my 2 cents on that, 2 thumbs up. I think going from Dune to Bond is actually a really great pivot, because you spend 3 movies in space. You kind of want to do something a little more on the ground. Obviously, his movies Sicario and Prisoners, I think he can absolutely craft a really great Bond movie based on those 2 alone. And I'm very excited to see what he does with the franchise. I just hope we don't have a Danny Boyle situation on our hands all over again, where Danny Boyle bows out for creative differences. But we'll see what happens. Yes, Antonio, I heard about Akira. Warner Brothers let the fucking they lost the rights, and Taika's not doing the movie anymore. Awesome. Anyway, is that how you say his name? Because I have a difficult time saying his name. I believe so. Denis Villeneuve. I believe that's how you say it. Next round of casting news is going to be amazing. New X-Men, new Bond, new Batman, new Wonder Woman. Yeah. I don't disagree. It's going to be very interesting to see who gets cast as who for each project, respectively. F1 is going to make 80 million this weekend, in my opinion, in the States, globally, and probably over 100 million. Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about that. I mean, according to Hollywood Reporter, it looks like it could make upwards of 115 million worldwide, even though it has a production budget of 200 million before marketing. But again, Apple did front the movie. Warner Brothers is just helping distribute it. So I'd have to imagine Warner Brothers may have marketed it. I don't know how that works, because when, the big whales like Amazon and MGM, well, MGM is owned by Amazon. So when like the likes of Amazon and Apple are involved, it's a little more tricky to determine like what is the measure of success, because a lot of revenue from Apple and Amazon don't strictly come from box office or merchandise. They literally have multiple folds of revenue, be it from, in Apple's case, you have, iPhones and AirPods and all that other shit and every other piece of Macintosh equipment that they sell. And then Amazon, go to Amazon.com. That'll give you all the revenue stream you could think of. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I am at 2 hours. Like I said, I would. So yeah, Villeneuve doing Bond. That's great. Box office banter. Cool beans. Let's see what Jurassic World Rebirth does next week. And we'll see just how far of a fall it takes when Superman flies. But as always, my friends, I like to just do that. Just do me that favor. That thing. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Share with your friends. I want you to tell all your friends about me. I'm Phil. I am unfiltered. Follow me on Vero, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. And feel free to watch me on Council of Creators every Wednesday over at Chainsaw Reacts. Feel free to watch me on Party Nation over at Lance Geek Drums every Tuesday. Feel free to catch me on the Vodka stream later on tonight. And as always, listen to my Batman podcast, The Eternal Night. I'm going to see if we can talk about that Batman script getting completed with someone. Not sure who yet, but we'll find someone. I'll find someone, I'm sure. Maybe I'll hit up Craig. I'm not really sure. He's been pretty busy with life, but, we'll see what happens. As always, everyone, much love. Take care. Stay safe. Keep it classy. Bye-bye.